needs it. We got Goodfellas American-style pizza. The decentest, honestest I think there is. Right, Frankie? You want deep pan? Fine. With a light and crispy base? Dandy. You like pepperoni? Bada bing. You got juicy tomatoes. Tomatoes, herbs even. Right, kid? Go on, say cheese. Now shoot, out of my restaurant. Goodfellas American-style pizza, now available in your area. From stores with ice compartments. Bring him down!
Sharp is not a man to cross.
No more of my men will die in this godforsaken place.
Made you sure? At your service.
You're a dead man, Sharp.
I give lessons in killing too.
Sharp, Wednesday at 8 on Meridian. This wasn't going to be an ordinary affair.
Costs nothing to be a little crazy and irresponsible.
No?
Just watch her, that's all. They say she's been pretty wild in her time.
Did you have enough of me last night?
Impossible.
My poor little Alice. Have I shocked you?
I don't know.
Based on the bestseller Village Affair, 9 o'clock Easter Monday.
Now, Alistair Stewart invites viewers to take a front seat for police camera action.
Between lanes 2 and 3. Takes 120 miles an hour directly under the helicopter now. Still 130 southbound.
If you commit an offence when you're driving, this could happen to you. What's more, with the growing number of police video cars on the roads today, there's an increasing chance that your bad driving will have been recorded on camera. In the past, it was often a case of their word against yours. But modern police video surveillance techniques provide them with indisputable evidence of the errors of your ways. You may remember this from our last programme. An all-too-common lapse of concentration captured on police video. And as this police video car found, it can happen in broad daylight and on an almost empty road.
Oh my God, what's she doing? Oh dear.
The nurse driving this Mini was trying to put a cassette into the tape deck when she drove into a parked car. Thankfully, she wasn't hurt. But too many accidents are caused by drivers trying to do too many things at once. Map reading, eating, adjusting the radio, or putting on makeup. In our last programme, we showed how this piece of impatient driving on the motorway almost caused an horrific accident. This is the same junction just a couple of months later, and it's not just one irresponsible driver this time, but a whole herd of them. The drivers in these cars, frustrated by the heavy traffic, decide to try to leave the motorway by reversing en masse up the hard shoulder. As we've seen before, this type of dangerous driving is bad enough when the traffic is light. But with so many other cars on the road, the situation quickly becomes chaotic. Once they get to the scene, the police are very fair. Everybody gets a ticket. And do you remember the lost driver who parked his car in the overtaking lane and walked across the motorway to ask for directions? He risked his life, as did this hitchhiker. Yet another example of people putting their immediate needs before their own safety and the safety of others on the road. Thumbing a lift on the motorway is illegal for very good reasons. It's dangerous for the hitchhiker, but also for cars that are forced to swerve or stop suddenly, making driving far more hazardous for others. This impatient young man found out in the end that drivers won't stop if you try to bully them. He did finally get a lift in the back of a police patrol car. The latest development in traffic surveillance technology gives new meaning to the expression "in hot pursuit." Police helicopters are now equipped with thermal imaging cameras, which are heat rather than light sensitive. The thermal imaging camera responds to the body's temperature, so even in the dark, police can follow their target wherever it goes. And from the ground, there's no way of knowing when this camera is being used. So as the next fugitive discovered, if the police are tracking someone, they can run, but they can't hide. The woman driving this stolen car doesn't realise that as she drives faster, the car becomes hotter, which makes it easier and easier for the police helicopter to track.
Nearby, Piella. Unit stand by. Unit stand by. Juliet Charlie 2-1. Where are you now, Piella?
Grove MP heading towards Leighton. Bobby's just jumped to the...
South Road towards Leighton, another red ACS received. Juliet Charlie 2-1, if you can keep your commentary going, Piella.
We're now headed towards Leverage Road, MP. Still planning to stop driving on the wrong side of the road.
The engine glows white, shining like a beacon for its pursuer. And like an aeroplane laying down a vapour trail, the car exhaust is clearly visible.
Yeah, it's in Low Hall Lane now. Heading towards Leverage Road, MP.
Low Hall Lane, that's all received. India 99, have you got me in sight yet, MP?
Yes, we have it visual and on tape. How many occupants, please?
Occupants, we've got one IC female driving, one IC, one female passenger, MP.
That's understood, thank you.
India 9...
Wearing a baseball cap.
India 99, if you can take up the commentary now, MP.
Negative, best left to the local unit.
India 99, that's received. Juliet.
Charlie 2-1, it is a Astra, a Vauxhall Astra Blue CD. Oscar Whiskey Charlie.
That's all received. Where are you now, Piella?
MP, into a trading estate,
Now into the trading estate.
When she tries to make a run for it, the fugitive is even more obvious to the police in the helicopter above.
They're out of the vehicle in the trading estate, chasing back towards the entrance of the trading estate. The second vehicle approaching, stop where you are now.
She's quickly captured and later received 18 months probation and was banned from driving for a year.
We've got a heat source on the camera.
And the thermal imager easily spotted this intruder hiding in the bushes by the house.
I believe. If they could just acknowledge standing by a fence, by a garage wall, right outside, by an area car. Could they just one put their hand up, please? Yep. Could if you listen to my directions, please, could you just walk the way the area car is pointing until I tell you to stop? Okay, if you stop there, can you go in the garden? Stop, stop, stop. Can you go in the garden to your right? It looks like maybe your suspect is right up by the bay window. By the bay window. You need to go into the garden. Go into the garden, right up to the bay window. Okay, if your colleague on the road, if he can go back and cover the other section. X-ray Sierra, is that your suspect, over?
Captured in pitch darkness. The latest technological wizardry may make the forces fight against crime more efficient, but there are times when a little old-fashioned improvisation proves just as effective. An immobilised car is blocking the overtaking lane on a motorway in Kent. It's a potential source of danger and disruption, and the police are in a hurry to move it, but have no means of doing so. A passing tanker offers a solution. So, with a length of rope, a little ingenuity, and plenty of pulling power, the car can be towed to a more appropriate parking spot. Once the car is pulled onto the hard shoulder, it's out of harm's way. The tanker can then continue on its journey. In 1996, a hazard perception test will become part of the driving test. If you fail it, you may have to take the whole test again. Using footage shot from a moving car, the test is designed to simulate the view from behind the wheel and measures the speed of your reaction to various hazards played on a computer screen. In trials at Reading University, many drivers, particularly the young, fail because they don't see the dangers until they're right under their noses. Everybody thinks that they're the safest of drivers, but our next sequence shows that we should all drive with extra vigilance because some people do the craziest things. The police were confused by the commotion they spotted on this stretch of Essex motorway. Two vehicles were stationary in the middle lane, and a number of people had, for some reason, got out of their cars. It turned out that a box of nails had fallen from a lorry and scattered across the carriageway. The lorry driver, helped by a couple of other drivers, was trying to pick them up before they caused too many punctures. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The lorry driver and his helpers probably thought they were doing the right thing, but they only caused more chaos. Never try to retrieve anything that you've dropped on the motorway, however precious or potentially dangerous it may be. Pull onto the hard shoulder and use the emergency telephone to inform the police. It's not just motorists who are oblivious to the dangers on the roads. This cyclist is far too big for his bike and doesn't seem to realise how vulnerable he is to other road users.
He nearly dropped his bike there, did you see that? Very close to dropping it. Hey? On his pole side, that's mad, isn't he? What an idiot. Yeah. That part don't look big enough.
After almost getting run over by a bus, he then nearly falls victim to another motorist's inconsideration.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, I found out about 70685.
This clip from Liverpool is legendary, but badly loaded vehicles are no laughing matter. This mobile home was on the move in more ways than one. It could have twisted all the way round to block the carriageway or even fallen off the back of the lorry. Having a car hit you is one thing, but one falling on you from above is quite another. One thin strap was all that was holding these three car wrecks in place, and one sharp bend could have been enough to cause havoc on the highway.
It's moving about. You see the vehicles moving about where the straps have come away.
Unsafe loads are accidents waiting to happen. It seems it was asking too much of this driver to tie a tarpaulin onto his skip before loading it onto the lorry. The police spotted this dog travelling in style in North Wales. Towing a trailer with a motorbike is not illegal, but a misunderstanding of the law has arisen because the latest driving licence doesn't indicate it's allowed. To clear up the confusion, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency now issues leaflets with all new licences to explain the entitlements fully.
This is the basic stuff that all cars are made of. But the way the new Honda Civic's been built will make your eyes pop out. This class of car's never seen double wishbone suspension before, or a tough new roll bar reinforcing the rear. The doors meet 1997 US side impact standards already. VTEC is the most economical system in its class, but open her up and there's all the performance you need. All cars are made from this. But in the end, not all are built like this.
Honda, built without compromise.
What mark would you give the condition of your hair?
5.
If your hair doesn't feel good,
4.
you don't feel good.
2.5.
Together, VO5 Moisture Balance shampoos and VO5 conditioners add softness, shine, and manageability. For beautiful hair, VO5 plus VO5 equals 10.
What mark would you give your hairstyle for lasting hold?
4.
3.
5.
Luckily, VO5's power styling range gives you ultimate hold. Alberta VO5 plus VO5 equals 10.
Tales of the Black Horse, the taxing task. Once, a poor farmer was going about his business when...
Excuse me, Squire. Any chance of an aperitif?
News of the talking pig brought people from afar.
Not like a pig's tail. I said, I don't know. He said because it's too early.
Including a wicked tax collector. He coveted the pig and set the farmer a horribly taxing task.
Complete this return by break of day, or with thy chattering hog, thou pay!
All night long, they wrestled with the figures.
Is that net or gross?
The fateful morning came, and with it, the mail. He'd forgotten that Lloyd's Bank automatically provides credit interest statements to help with your tax return. And therefore, saving the farmer's bacon.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
The credit interest statement, another legendary service from Lloyd's Bank.
If your driving offence is considered serious enough to land you in court, then evidence captured on police video equipment may be used against you. The tape recording of the evidence is copied, logged, sealed in a tamper-proof evidence bag, and then stored in a locked vault like this until your court appearance. And almost without exception, the tapes in these vaults will convict the driver in question, however much he or she continues to protest their innocence. A video car is quietly patrolling an industrial estate when this happens. Which driver do you think got the biggest shock? The policeman when the van swerved in front of him, or the van driver when he discovered that not only had he cut up an unmarked police car, but also that his reckless driving had been caught on camera?
What the hell was that?
This stolen black BMW is heading south from Birmingham at 130 miles an hour. The driver shows no sign of stopping, and the police are prepared to follow him all the way to London.
Yeah, roger, we'll just have to let it run, obviously. We can't block the motorway. Information, YJ appears to be single driver only. It's quite cool. Open the sunroof, etc. Not too worried, are we? Yeah, Alpha Oscar 1, not off at junction 1, still southbound.
When the police are involved in a pursuit, they always follow a plan, and that plan will never deliberately involve a member of the public. Such situations are considered far too dangerous for anyone who's not had the appropriate training, and trying to help from a position of ignorance can often make things worse. But on this occasion, the help they received from two members of the public proved useful. This driver slows down when he sees the police car, forcing the BMW following to do the same. But after the fugitive starts nudging his bumper, he moves on to the hard shoulder. The blue van in front is more successful. The driver realises what's going on and helps the police to box in the black car, bringing it to a halt. The police weren't able to thank the driver of the blue van as he didn't stop, and no record was made of his number plate. But they would like him to know they were extremely grateful. Dangerous or reckless driving could land you with a fine, a ban, or even a prison sentence. More seriously, you could critically injure or kill yourself or an innocent road user. 1 in 7 deaths on the road involves a driver who's taken more than the legal limit of alcohol. And whilst the police always take drink driving seriously, at Christmas, when the temptations to drink are all the greater, it's much more likely that you'll be stopped and breathalyzed. I regret I speak from personal experience. I was breathalyzed and I lost my license. But fortunately, no one was hurt. It's just not acceptable to take risks with other people's lives. So do please remember, drinking and driving kills. This Norfolk driver seems to think she's on a dual carriageway. She's not. The car was spotted on a quiet country lane one hot summer's afternoon by a police motorbike. The driver was 3.5 times over the limit and was extremely lucky not to injure herself or anyone else. She was banned from driving for 1.5 years and was fined more than £500. After tip-offs from several members of the public, police caught up with this van travelling in excess of the speed limit and weaving all over the road.
Try and get this one back off.
When they finally pulled the van over, the police immediately took control of the keys. They then discovered that the driver could scarcely walk, let alone drive. This drunk driver, in the car in front on the right-hand side, is being followed by a motorway repair vehicle with a flashing hazard light and an off-duty ambulance driver. Both have witnessed the drunk's terrifying driving and are trying to do what they can to warn other drivers. But some are just going too fast. A very near miss. The driver's already crashed into the central reservation. He also appears oblivious to his 2 burst tyres and that he's driving his car on its wheel rims, leaving a trail of sparks. The police finally surround the car and bring the drunk driver to a halt. He told police he was quite sober and was convinced he'd give a negative test back at the police station. He was more than 3 times over the limit. If you lose control of your car, the consequences are serious, not only for you, but also for those around you using the roads. Police drivers are trained to control their vehicles on skid pans like this, where hazardous conditions can be artificially recreated. The ability to stop safely can be a matter of life and death. And staying alive can be as easy as giving yourself plenty of time and space. But bad driving conditions aren't the only reason we should drive with extra care. Losing concentration at the wheel, whatever the circumstances, can be just as hazardous. The driver of the Blue Rover is approaching the traffic lights far too fast and loses control of his car. The same is true of this lorry driver. Fortunately, the consequences of the driver's loss of concentration weren't serious. But if anyone had been in front of him or travelling close behind, it might have been a very different story. If this police video car was forced to stop suddenly or lost control at almost 70 miles an hour, the driver of the white car would have virtually no chance of avoiding an accident. Following too closely to the vehicle in front, or tailgating, causes thousands of accidents every year. It's especially dangerous for lorries, which need far greater stopping distances. In the safest of road conditions, tailgating is dangerous, but in weather such as this, it's lunacy. In driving rain, visibility is seriously reduced, and the spray thrown up by tyres obscures the brake lights and indicators of other vehicles. At 60 miles an hour, this lorry might as well be on an ice rink, for all the chance the driver has of avoiding a collision up ahead. It may be frustrating to be held up when you're in a hurry, but trying to force another driver to speed up or get out of the way is highly dangerous. This driver hasn't spotted that he's tailgating a police video car. He's obviously desperate to get past. The police try to find a suitable spot to pull him over, but he can't believe it's him they want to talk to.
You. That one. Come on. In. Follow us in. He's going. Pull in. Right, give me some blue. Shame we didn't get him doing that on the thing.
Road safety is not just about good driving. The smoke from this van is a sign that the vehicle badly needs the attentions of a mechanic. In the meantime, it presents a serious hazard for other road users. Here, a cloud of smoke completely obscures the view of the police in the video car.
Both of these. I go for the Golf, he's more dangerous than that.
The driver of this Golf may have made a common mistake, but nevertheless, the car should not be on the road.
Over there. I've just put diesel in by accident. Pull it over there, please.
Earlier this year, police received a number of calls from the public reporting sightings of a UFO in Surrey. The alien craft was recorded from a variety of angles on several different motorway cameras, and Department of Transport observers could not believe their eyes. Was this the first time a close encounter with a flying saucer had been captured on video? Drivers became concerned when they saw beams of light coming from the craft, apparently directed at the road signs. Evidently, the visitors from another planet were without compass or maps. But at last, with the help of another miracle of modern technology, the zoom lens, all is revealed. Sometimes, even airship pilots get lost.
Potential firebomb.
Fast, grim outpost of boy. In fact, everything you've got.